I'm Susan Langenhennick. I'm the Home and Garden Editor for the Times-Picayune and NOLA.com, and I'm here with Matt Paxton, who has a TV show on Lifetime Network called
Hoarders.
Hoarders, and it's all about a very serious topic that we're going to discuss today, hoarding. And you've also written a book.
I did. The book is Secret Lives of Hoarders, and I wrote it for family members to understand what hoarding really is.
And you're here in Metairie today doing a workshop for service masters, is that correct?
Correct. We're here talking to industry professionals, which include organizers, therapists, geriatric care managers, lawyers, anyone that's dealing with the aging profession.
And Service Master also does cleaning for families.
Service Master, we clean around the country, 42 locations around the country, helping families that are affected by hoarding. They do everything from crime scene, trauma, all the way up to mold mitigation.
Why don't we start with just a very basic question? It sounds kind of obvious, but what is hoarding? I mean, what's the difference between somebody who just is sort of a pack rat and someone who tips the scale?
Yeah, so hoarding is when something tragic has happened to you, and you start to replace the loss with stuff. The difference between collecting and hoarding. Collecting is you do something with your family. Hoarding is when those items have replaced your family.
Oh, wow. So it's a psychological, it's a mental illness.
It is literally a mental disorder. The American Psychiatric Association deemed it a mental disorder in 2014.
And it affects something like 5% of Americans?
5% of Americans, 10 to 14 million are affected by hoarding right now in the U.S. It's a large number. It's alarming, and it's only going to grow as the aging population increases over the next 30 years.
And so when you start to see a family member sort of moving in this direction, are there signs or indications that before they get to the point where you literally can't walk in the house?
Yeah, so you've got the group that have been hoarders all their lives, and they were kids with the Depression, and there's then you just really want to kind of contain it. Those are the people that are 80 and over right now. There's not a whole lot of therapy you can do for that. The new groups that are coming in, it's people that are affected by some type of event. They've lost a spouse, they've lost their job, they've gotten sick, something bad happens to them. You want to get it right away. Before they start hoarding at the level that I'm there. I come in 20 years later when it's awful.
Right.
But the job is talk to them ahead of time, get them into therapy, because again, it's a mental disorder. It looks very physical, but it's not about the stuff, it's about the mental. So we want to get them help, get them into therapy as quickly as you can. So if you see a friend that's lost somebody and they start buying stuff right away, let them know, hey, I care about you, I'm worried, we want to get you some help.
So what are the first steps you can do if you've got someone who is as bad as what you've seen on your show? What can a family member do? I mean, what are the first steps? How do you approach them?
Yeah, it's more what you shouldn't do.
Okay.
Don't set an ultimatum. Don't say, you can never see the grandkids until you clean your house. Because nobody wants, the goal is you want them to clean your house, not hold the grandkids away. And if you set that ultimatum and the hoarder can't reach that, they can't reach it, they can't do it, then you've already now have to take the kids away. Another thing is don't clean it on your own. The biggest mistake of family members is they go out, when the person's in the hospital, they'll actually take everything out of the house and they'll try to clean it. They think that the hoarder's going to be happy. And what you've done is you've actually stolen. You've destroyed their life and you've lost everything.
Wow.
The main things are just let them know you care about them and ask a professional. There's a reason that we're in 42 cities. We are professionals. We know what to do both mentally and physically.
Do you have psychologists who work with Service Master?
We work with therapists in each unique group. Here in New Orleans, we're with Dr. Chabot. Suzanne Chabot, who's also on Hoarders with me, and she's our OCD therapist that we will bring in. We try to get every one of our clients to do therapy if it's possible. The only way to help someone with a mental disorder is with therapy. We can clean it out, but the way to keep it clean is through therapy.
Well, that was my next question. Do you typically see people slide back? You know, you make this progress, you get the house clean, and then something...
If they don't do therapy, we 100% guarantee the house will slide back.
Wow. This
is a new disorder. We're learning. I mean, we're just getting all the research together. But I can guarantee you if they don't do the therapy, the house will fill right back up.
Is it somewhat age related? Do you typically see it in older people?
Well, it's like a fine wine. It takes a long time to fill a house. So, and so does tragedy. Most people don't have multiple tragedies in their 20s. So most of them you start to get it over into your 20s, into your 30s, into your 40s. So we see it a lot in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. But grief
can happen anywhere.
So
it's always a trigger you've seen.
100%. All the time, there's a reason. If you understand that reason, it makes total sense.
How did you get into this? How did you start working with Hoarders?
I failed at pretty much everything else in life, and it's no secret, I had a really bad gambling addiction, and I lost everything, and started over at 25.
Wow.
And I started cleaning old ladies' attics.
Wow.
And
so you had the reverse.
I did.
You had a hardship, but it didn't lead you to a hoarder.
Well, it did. I mean, 15 years later, it sure did. Here I am going around the country telling people about hoarding. And the only reason hoarders listen to me is because I failed as much as they feel they have. Wow. And so it sure didn't make sense those 10 years that I was failing I was failing loudly. It didn't make sense until year 11.
Right.
And thank God I made it to year 11, and now we're able to share these. And our whole process to help Hoarders is built on equalizing, being equal, and letting people know that you understand. And the best way to do that is to show that you failed too. So I'm very lucky. I mean, my life history of failing brought me to a place where I can help people across the country.
Through the show, have you heard from lots and lots of families?
I
Not
get-
that are on the show, but callers and readers who...
I get about 100 emails a week from people
Wow.
that either watch the show or heard my podcast or read my book, people who just say, hey, you helped us understand that our mom wasn't alone. Or we've had, this morning, our morning session here, we had 3 people show up that heard me on NPR. They said, we just wanted to give you a hug. You helped us understand that we have hope. I mean, this is a group of people that are forgotten and lost, and when they are remembered, they're treated very poorly.
Right, it's a shame involved.
There's a ton of shame, and I always say we're the next alcoholism. If you're an alcoholic now and you say you're getting help, people say, good for you.
Right.
Well, right now with hoarding, we're not there. People say, oh, you're filthy, you're disgusting, you're gross.
Right.
Once the public gets the understanding, and 10 years from now, it's going to be no big deal. You'll get your help, you'll go to therapy, and you'll get better.
So this is a modern disorder.
Absolutely.
I mean, this was not something you saw 30 years ago. Maybe to some degree.
Well, I think hoarding always existed. It's just the TV and the books and the pop culture aspect of it from being on in reality TV, that pushed us to the point where now there's an understanding.
And that there's a term for it.
There's a term for it. I mean,
People just called you pack rat.
yeah, before you were
dirty.
Yeah, a dirty ant.
Right.
Is all you were.
Or
And
that
now we
crazy
understand.
ant with the house piled full of
Yeah,
stuff.
and now we're understanding this is legit. This is real. This isn't just some lazy person. They're not lazy. They're not crazy.
Right.
They're really often intelligent, caring people that something bad happened to. So yeah, we're at the beginning of a 30-year push. We're going to see a lot more understanding. The being included in the DSM-4. It's now medical. It's now a mental disorder. We're going to see a lot of help coming, a lot of research coming. It's actually pretty cool to think we're at the beginning. I always say, I wonder what Betty Ford thought about the first time she opened up with alcoholism. And here we are. We're going to know a lot more in 20 years. And I mean, 5%. I mean, 14 million people.
Right.
We're going to help a ton of people, and that's pretty cool.
Finally, what resources can you give to someone who sees this video or comes to your talk here and now is faced with this? What should be the first thing they should do, Paul?
Obviously reach out to us at Service Master Restore. We can help you out.
You can put them in touch with like a therapist.
Exactly. We'll connect you with a local therapist. If you don't know what to do, you're even afraid, just go online to childrenofhoarders.org.
Wow.
That's a huge resource. It's not a for-profit website. It's just a group of a bunch of kids that grew up in hoarded homes, and there's lots of help available there.
Right.
I would just reach out probably anything, even if it's not hoarding. Any disorder you have, any hardship you have, reach out for help. It can get better. We'll help you at Service Master Restore. We'll get you on track. The house getting clean is easy.
Right.
We need to get you into therapy first.
Right.
Our process, once you do therapy, independently with an independent therapist, man, we'll get your house clean pretty quickly.